season of Halloween, but we're embracing our inner self. Let's move on to my video. So, welcome back, people. So, this week I'd like to touch on situationships and expectationships. I know I was supposed to give feedback about my week with my diary. I actually got very demotivated because it's like the devil was just using that as an opportunity for me to deviate. But, anyways, I got over it. I'm still working on the diary process, but it just made me realize that we do not have control of a lot of things around us. The only thing we can do is get back up and stay focused. So, I want to talk about the difference, in my opinion, of what a situationship is and expectationships. Okay, that terminology my girl and I came up with because we realized that we end up having so much expectation from other people that leads to our own downfall. So let's first take a look at what I believe a situationship is, and I will give you my own personal example. So I believe a situationship is when you and this individual are put together circumstantially, meaning that both of you have a similar dysfunction or a similar responsibility. And majority of it all is usually based on the fact that you could be, you know, in a situation whereby you need somewhere to live, or you need somebody to help you out financially, or you might even be expecting a child. Like that was my situationship back when I finished school, because I fell pregnant, so I got into a situationship because my partner then and my mom and his mom felt like, the olden day terminology that if you are going to have a child with someone, get married. And yet, marriage is not that. You can't just place a title on two people and expect it to work just because one of the factors that they're going through is tied to marriage. So thus I term that a situationship. And that obviously leads to unhappiness because now you're with this person because of a situation. What happens? You start to have an existential crisis like what I did. I'm like, oh my goodness, if I didn't have this child with you, I wouldn't be with you. So what was the point? So that is what I term a situationship, and it's not healthy because that is not sustainable. It can only carry you for so long before either one of you snap. So I want to just encourage us to be more aware of the situations that we put ourselves in. And let's move on to what I think my girl and I were meaning when we said expectationships. So, with expectationships, I believe it's when you're actually in a relationship, or you are, dating somebody, getting to know somebody, and then we start to bring out our conditioning. I believe we get conditioned by the movies that we watch, we get conditioned by the songs that we listen to, and we get influenced by our surroundings. I wonder if we were ever to be in a position whereby we were just left alone to do our own thinking, what kind of stuff would we come up with? I know we have the Bible as reference, and that is exactly what we're supposed to be following. But unfortunately, with the world that we're living in, we do get deviated in the process. So, by the looks of it, and by studying my surroundings and the relationships around us, I see a lot of dependency when it comes to women and the guys that they date. Be it the expectation of the guy taking the women out, be it the expectation of the women wanting the guys to do little favors and stuff like that for them. That kind of seems like entitlement. Whereas I believe the best thing one can do is just to be their own person, be their own, means of sustainability, if you will. go into it just purely on the basis of wanting to get to know another person. For me, currently, I am just in a position whereby I want to be around people, be it male or female, but I would like to learn, from that individual. If I feel like our association will actually degrade my train of thought and the process that I'm on self improvement, then as I said in my previous video, I will choose to take a step back. I'm not necessarily cutting people off, but I feel like if we do not have anything in common, what's the point of stringing each other along? So I think it's not an easy process, to be honest with you, because I remember a few days ago I was feeling a bit down because I got to realize that, oh my goodness, everything that I was so used to and so accustomed to is now being questioned, and it's very uncomfortable because it's like you're kind of having an existential crisis whereby everything you thought you believed, you know, it's not what you want. So even with expectationships, stop this mentality of getting into a relationship to get something out of it. Love in its simplest form, it's selfless. If you are going to be with somebody, at least just go with the natural God given traits that we were given: compassion, empathy, forgiveness, you know, things like that, which is so hard to find in this world because all of us are just trying to protect ourselves because of previous heartbreak, and it's very, very sad. So I think the first thing that I'm going to do from now on is no longer expect, especially materialism, remove that idea completely. And the only thing I believe that we can actually just try and get, the first expectation I believe we are all entitled to, is respect and trust. So I hope that helps. Just maybe take an introspection of yourself and the relationships that you might be in or might be looking for. What is it that you want out of that individual? And what are you going to give as well? You know?